Hello, so there was a challenge that to write a complete functional REST service which retrieves data from whatever database in 30 minutes, and you need Spring Boot for that. It can't be achieved apparently without Spring Boot. Okay, so let's try it without Spring Boot. So in here I have a very simple, well, it's actually just a new project, a new Gradle project, Java, Kotlin and Web, that was generated by IntelliJ. And so first I'm going to need a database, right? So I'm going to use the Valiant Kotlin ORM database because database mapper, because that's really the simplest way on how to access the database. So it's a simple library which just bundles a bunch of object relational mapping code and a way to control the transactions, and that's it. So it works outside of J2E, outside of outside of servlet container. It works from standard Java library, so we can use it anyway. I'm going to use in-memory H2 database, so compile H2, yeah, there's one, import changes, and we can create our first web application. So in order to use this Valiant Kotlin library, I need to bootstrap it first. So class bootstrap servlet context listener, web listener, and everything, and vok-orm. So the JDBC URL is going to be this in-memory database. The driver is going to be org h2 driver, org h2 driver. Okay, so with this we have the database mapping initialized, including the Hikari CP connection pooling. We can issue statements to the database. So in order to create a very simple table category, we can simply issue the create table statement. And now we can pre-fill the database with a simple content. So for each, right, we need the mapping class. So with a really simple data class category, which is of type entity with the long typed ID, right? And we have a name field, and yeah, that's it. This is enough. This is all we need for the object relational mapping, but in order to have a real nice finders, we can have the companion object implement the DAO of type category, which will bring in a really nice set of static finder methods, for example, find all. So we have a category name cat. We are going to save it into the database. And to verify that everything works, we will print all categories. Find all. Okay. It seems that we have the database ready. In order to verify that everything is working, we can launch it in a Tomcat server. So Tomcat. And we are going to launch the war file. And indeed, this is some kind of JSP thing. Indeed, it printed out all the categories in a database. So we have the database access. We need a REST access. We are going to use a RestEASY. I don't remember the dependencies, so I'm kind of going to cheat a bit. So this is how you integrate or use the RestEASY library, which implements the REST server endpoint part. So let's re-import it. Okay, we have that, and we need to bootstrap the RestEASY. That's really simple. All we need to do is to have a application and bind it into REST. And now we are going to need a REST endpoint that will actually provide instances of type of categories. So category REST, which will be bound to categories, and when somebody gets this function, then it will find all categories. So category find all. Okay. Produce, and this will produce what was it? Application JSON, I think. I guess so. Oh, let's try it. All right, media type. Yeah, something like this. JSON. Hello. Application JSON, right? Okay, brilliant. So anyway, so the application is still appears to be running. So we are going to pull the REST endpoint for data. So it's local. I can't type. It was REST categories, I think. Yeah, right. Okay, so we have the REST endpoint working on us properly. So ID, name, there is something valid. Let's ignore that for now. So we have the second part of the challenge, right? And the third part was to run it in a Docker. So we just build a WAR file, and in order to have the WAR, here we have the WAR file, and in order to have the WAR file up and running in a Docker image, I don't remember the exact command, but I remember writing a blog post about that. So launch quickly in cloud, right? So head the folder where your WAR file is and run this thing. So I'm going to run this command, which will hopefully, yeah, okay, which will hopefully launch the whole thing. Okay, apparently printed out the list of categories, so database is working. REST is working as well. So the application is hooked under this particular context root. So it's REST categories. Voila, we have the list of categories from a server that's running in a Docker. Okay, that's it, I guess. Challenge done.